Hello there, welcome to Inkquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen review. The fountain pen I have for you today is this Majohn RS3 pocket pen in this gorgeous amber acrylic. I like to call amber is a cat, regardless of whether it's on a Pen BBS fountain pen or not. To say I have several amber is a cat fountain pens would be an understatement. You might be able to see some of them over here and over there, but I'm not a big user of pocket pens. The best and most used pocket pen I own is my beloved Pilot E95S, and it's been inked up since I received it about 6 years ago now. But I know pocket pens are hugely popular and useful for many of you Inkquiring minds out there. So when a subscriber drew my attention to this new model from Majohn, I snapped it up immediately. Just like that. And not just because you folks would be interested, but I'm fascinated to see the evolution from this RS1 to the RS3 Majohn. So what happened to the RS2? Well, I'll get to that. But we need to discuss how the RS1 came about in the first place. Yeah. If you want to see the review, just skip ahead and avoid the gossip. This is the fun part for me, and it'll be more fun with fellow fountain pen fanatics anyway. So, are they gone? Good, I'm glad. I never liked them anyway.
My dad never liked you.
So here's the skinny. If you don't know this, it's fascinating.
Oh, fascinating.
And if you have corrections or more information about this, by all means add a comment below. So there's this German company called Kaweco, you see. You may have heard of them. They've been around since 1883. The Gilded Age.
You'll be thrilled.
I haven't been thrilled since 1865.
They've made the popular fountain pen model Kaweco Sport since 1934, with a slight hiccup between 1939 and 1945. What happened?
Hey, what happened?
And it hasn't changed much at all. Lots of different materials and colors. Back in 2020, Kaweco got their collective knickers, or lederhosen.
Hey, let me see now. You would be from Austria, am I right?
No, I am Inga from Sweden.
Sweden? But you're wearing lederhosen.
Yeah, for sure, from Sweden.
In a proverbial twist about the Chinese pen company Moonman copying other pen makers, and particularly the Moonman T1, which they considered copied their shape. But mostly other brands like Montblanc, Leonardo, Stipula, just to name a few. So in the fall of 2021, Kaweco took it upon themselves to register the name Moonman as a trademark, effectively blocking the Chinese company from using their own name in Western markets. Moonman went ahead and changed their name to Majohn, which is an anglicization of the name Mojiang, a province in China, Mojiang. And this is the super cool part. Within months, Moonman Majohn had created and released a new pen model that copied the Kaweco Sport in size and shape. But wait, there's more.
Is that it?
No, there's more. You see?
Not only did they copy the Sport, they also made it out of a material Kaweco hadn't used yet, and at the time was becoming very, very popular. Titanium. You can see my review of this wonderful little pen by clicking right up there. Kaweco answered back immediately with their own titanium Sport they called the Kaweco Titan Sport. And by immediately, I mean 4 years later. So this was the RS1. I passed on the follow-up to the RS1, the RS2, which came out recently, because I wasn't fond of the look, and because Moonman Majohn had returned to copying their favorite German fountain pen brand to copy, Montblanc. I don't think I liked any of their Montblanc copies. Awful pens like the F9 Snake and the P138 I dubbed a Montblanc, and you can see the review of the P138 by clicking right up there as well, if you dare. But when I saw Moonman Majohn had turned its attention back to Kaweco with the RS3, I was intrigued. Not only had they taken on the ever-static design of the Kaweco Sport again, but they also had decided to make changes to it. I think this is great because I've often slammed Moonman for slavishly copying other pen models right down to their flaws, without making any creative changes, improvements, or innovations. But they have shown that they can make changes to a design that actually makes it different and even better, like the Moonman T2, which is a copy of the Stipula Vontadu. I like this spring-loaded piston on the T2 better than the Stipula Vontadu. So I think they improved on that design. And that's what they've done here with the RS3, in my opinion. Perhaps they're sending Kaweco a message that the Sport can be improved with a little bit of effort. Let's look at how the Majohn RS3 is different from the Kaweco Sport. I'll show the parts and features of this pen, some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide a writing sample. And then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about this fountain pen. Alright, so what's different? Here is the RS3 from Majohn, and here is my Kaweco Sport DIY that I made myself at the Dutch Pen Show in Utrecht. Thank you, Arjun, for helping me make this. This is the glow-in-the-dark version. It's the DIY, which is do-it-yourself. So here are the two pens side by each, and let's compare them. One of the things that Kaweco gets all pissy about is anyone using an octagon shape on their pens. In 2021, Kaweco claimed the Moonman's T1 piston filler octagonal cap violated their copyright of the octagonal shape. Instead of suing, they trademarked the name Moonman, probably because you can't copyright a shape. I mean, what are you going to do? Ask every stop sign in the world to cease and desist? So the Kaweco Sport has an octagonal shaped cap and a cylindrical body, whereas the RS3 has a hexagonal barrel and a cylindrical cap. The barrel on the RS3 is as small as the Sport, but the cap balloons up in size to accommodate a number 6 size nib, feed, and section. The cap screws to post, and you have a small pen with a standard sized section and nib. Again, I think this is really clever. One of the things that many people, including me, dislike about the Kaweco Sport is the tiny nib and section. And the RS3 is made of turned acrylic, not injection molded plastic. Another plus in my book. So you have a very attractive acrylic resin fountain pen with a large section and a number 6 size nib. If you wish, you can swap that Moonman steel nib for a Jowo, Bock, or Schmidt to have a German nib. You just need to use the Moonman feed and nib collar. So let's take a look at this pen. From the top we see a large conical shaped acrylic resin finial that sandwiches a gold clip ring, and there is our wavy shaped clip with that little arch right back here. I was really hoping that you'd be able to press on this and it would cantilever back, but it doesn't. It is springy and usable though. I just think they missed an opportunity to have a one-handed operation on this pocket pen. And it has a really cool swirly radial lined design on it that I think is very attractive. That beautiful acrylic resin is very chatoyant and translucent, and we've got almost a standard size cap here. Here is the cap on the Moonman M800. This is a copy of the Leonardo Momento Zero, and so it's identical in shape and size to the Momento Zero. And so look at that cap. I'm going to line them up here right there. They're almost the same size. You have quite a step down right here to the barrel, which is again faceted in a hexagonal shape, and there's a flat bottom. The cap takes 1 3/4 turn to uncap, and we see a large tapering acrylic section in that same beautiful amber material, and a number 6 size Moonman steel nib. It's a typical number 6 size Moonman, has the filigree work border, Moonman, the Moonman logo symbol, China, and an F for fine, and there's the black plastic feed. The section comes off to reveal an included standard international converter. There's an O-ring right at the top to keep the barrel from unscrewing during use. I was all excited thinking that I might be able to eyedropper this. You could actually eyedropper that, but because this is metal, you're going to have your ink react with that, so I wouldn't recommend it. But if they had turned this section completely out of acrylic and not had this brass middle section, this would be very cool, because you'd get about 3.5 milliliters of ink out of this tiny little pen. The cap posts by screwing it on to the barrel, and the clip lines up with the nib, which is really nice. And it ends up being a nice size in your hand, especially that big section. I like that. Nicely balanced. It is a small pen, but you have a big pen feel at the front. I purchased this pen on AliExpress for $19.85, and it's available in 5 colors: green, dark green, purple, orange, and blue, and in 2 nib sizes, EF and F. Now let's look at some size comparisons. And here is the Majohn RS3 with a Kaweco Sport in do-it-yourself glow-in-the-dark green. I've added a clip to this. This pen doesn't come with a clip, but you can purchase one separately. And the Majohn RS1 in titanium. Your mileage will definitely vary with this pen because I anodized this titanium to get those wonderful colors in it. You can see that video where I anodized this by clicking right up there. And here is the Pilot E95S and a Lamy Safari for scale. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. You can see that the RS3 is the shortest of the 5, and it has the largest section and nib as well. Now the RS1 has this little brass attachment with the screws on it there. Shining in the light, there you go. You can see those 2 little screws there. I have yet to figure out what that's for. There's no attachment for a clip or anything that I've found that you can add to the RS1. And of course the Pilot ES95 is a 14 karat gold semi-inlaid nib. Let's look at them unposted. Now all these pens, with the exception of the Safari, are designed to be written with posted, but you can see the relative sizes. The RS3 is still the shortest of the group. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and this is the Majohn RS3, and it has a number 6 size steel fine nib. And let's check the wetness here. It is very wet right out of the box. I've done nothing to this nib, and it's relatively smooth but has a lot of feedback. And as to line variation, well, it is a nail. Yeah, it's really stiff. This is a typical Moonman number 6 size nib. I've never been fond of this nib, but as I say, it's a stock number 6. If you swap that nib out and use the feed and the nib collar from Moonman, you can put in a Jovo, a Schmidt, or a Bach in there if you want. And the ink today is my favorite ink to put into an Amber is a Cat acrylic fountain pen, and that is Diamine or Diamine Ancient Copper. I think it's a perfect match for this acrylic. Let's check the width here, horizontally, vertically, with no push. Give it a bit of a push. You really have to push it. And check it with my Dominant Industries MM pad and see what line widths we have. It looks like we have a 0.3 in both directions, and with a push it goes out to 0.5. So 0.3 to 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters. And let's do a quote. And for some reverse writing, it writes about the same in reverse as it does forward, just a little bit thinner. And some quick writing. Very, very juicy pen. No worries there. So what are my thoughts about the Majohn RS3? Well, first, let's talk about the Kaweco Sport, especially this one that I made myself in Utrecht. This is the DIY model, which is the do-it-yourself, and you can go into any Kaweco dealership and make these DIYs yourself. They are glow-in-the-dark green, so I thought we'd take a look at what it looks like with all the lights off. There we go. Look at that. So you can find your pen in the dark, but you won't be able to write with it because you can't see the page. But at least you can find your pen. But again, they come up with a different finish. Very cool. So what do I like and what do I not like so much about the RS3? Now let's talk about what I like. I really like the fact that they took this classic model and didn't just slavishly copy it. They changed it. They put the facets on the barrel and made a full-size cap and a full-size section and a number 6 size nib. And they made it a screw-to-post pocket-size pen that has a full-size feel to it. It's a cartridge converter pen. It takes more ink than the tiny converter that the Kaweco has, and it's standard international, so you can put standard international small cartridges into it as well. I love the fact that it's in these beautiful acrylics, especially the amber and the galaxy blue. I think it's very attractive for a pocket pen. I like the look of that clip. I just wish they had taken the opportunity to cantilever that clip so that you could give it a one-hand operation. So I could grab my pen, put it in my pocket just like that with one hand. There are a few pens that do that, and I really appreciate it. I think more pen companies should do it. And the other thing that I think they should have done is taken the opportunity to make the entire section and tail end of the section out of this same acrylic, so we can actually go ahead and eyedropper that and get about I would guess about 3 milliliters of ink out of that tiny pocket pen. I think people would really like that. I do like the fact that they put a silicone O-ring up there so it doesn't unscrew on you while you're using it. And I also like the fact that the nib and the clip line up, because this is a one-start thread and it lines up every time. That kind of symmetry is really nice, and if it's off just a little bit, people with OCD just don't like it. People like me.
My OCD won't allow me to stop clicking until the cabin has 15 towels. Well, I should let you go. A new car is in front of me and I need to do math problems with its license plate number.
As far as writing goes, it's a typical Moonman number 6 size steel nib. I don't think I've ever appreciated a Moonman number 6 size nib, but I've got a few other nibs that I might be able to swap in there, but swap in a nib of your choice. But for 20 bucks, this is a lot of pen that you're getting. A knockabout pen that's actually very cool looking, and when you open it up and write with it in the office, people will say, what the hell is that? And you gotta appreciate that. A lot of fun. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month. I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section. You'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as instant access to my videos the moment I post them. And that just leaves it for me to say thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.